Okay. Hello there, travelers. Um, you know, I made a story and I been making it lately. I wanna, give you a good understanding on how there might be a new future on a new fantasy that may be coming out lately. This is my origins of a new book, uh, maybe a game sooner on. I'm just 16, so I'm not there yet. But let's begin. Let's dive into it. If you wanna, know, this is my book, and it's just a notebook for now, but it's soon gonna leak out when I get old enough into that thing. I am also making two, so I'm making a backstory as well as the real one, okay? So I'm making two prints. Um, this is going to be a comic from book to a comic as well, maybe a game if I get into that point in my life. But let's get into it. The name, this is the beta. It might change. I'm gonna make some more videos if I can. But the name of the book is called BlackHeart, Embers Among Titans. So let's dive in. I haven't made much, but I have to put it in there into a story format. I only have like right now 3 pages, technically 4 counting the table contents, obviously. But let's start out with the prologue, the beginning of the fall. Let's get into it. Let's see if y'all like it. And to pause right now before I get into it, if you could subscribe or like, you don't have to stay here for long if you don't want to. This is just a story time about if you want to chill, listen to a story before you head off, chill for a moment. But if you want to listen to more story about the story I'm making, um, subscribe if you want to hear more content about it, okay? So, let's go back to the story. So, the beginning of the fall. 1 year is all it took for everyone in the universe to know that the day came where the survival of everything and every planet in the universe had came to an end. To find a way to evacuate to safety, for all they know, extinction came knocking at their door without mercy. During this time period, most planets with their species either panicked and died, or found a chosen few to carry out their planet's legacy. But to their survival, only 8 planets have found the answer and discovered a habitable planet called Titanus Gaia. For some reason, this gigantic planet was unaffected by the fall and its relentless destruction it brought. So the risk was high, but soon the 8 planets that were orbiting this gigantic planet, not orbiting, but just traveled there from space, came to an understanding to the dire situation and didn't attack each other and landed on this new habitable planet, soon to become their home. Chapter 1, Homecoming. Record 1, Volunder. It took some time to find a new start leading to the founding of our new home, Sunfall. The travel through the universe was harsh, and death was near. We carried our wounded and had to overextend our pyromancy, fire magic, to move around the universe without a fuel source to power our ship. We were lucky that we could even be alive, but glad to have a home since the fall destroyed our birth planet. But a strange event happened as soon as we landed. Something, some giant we call a titan. A few days after our settlements arrived out of lava. This titan was made up of lava and resembled most likely known to be a volcano. But this one was alive, and some reason didn't have any intentions to harm us. But something gave off from this titan, a feeling of protection and safety. We decided to give this titan the name Eisenbrod. Record 2, Deep Sea. The abyssal void of the fall wrought our planet and caused so much agony and sadness among our people. I mean. The founding of our new home gave our people hope to our survival. Our travels were rough and starving was common. Our people are grateful we survived and lived to create a new utopia under a new ocean among this habitable planet. During our landing on Titanus Gaia, we relieved the other surviving populations from the other planets didn't attack us. Our founding of our new home, from a long search, we gave it a name, calling it Unbroken Atlantis. From a few days after our settlement, a gigantic titan emerged deep from the ocean, but didn't harm our people, but showed a need to protect us. We named this Leviathan-like titan Zhe Kai Yin. And it stops right there. If you want an explanation, let's start off the prologue. If I can explain it to you, if you're confused about the story. The fall is literally the time where the universe just gave out and just destroyed itself. There was a death that just started consuming the planets that were living in it, the galaxies that were in it. It started just killing off everything. It started destroying, exploding planets, and it was just like a rapid disease, that killed the universe itself. Luckily these 8 living planets were near by the new planet, soon to be their home, Titanus Gaia. They traveled by ship, each in one of them, from their planet before it was destroyed on their way, and they were trying as hard as they can to find this habitable planet. It took them under a year, but it did because they were traveling really fast since their society was built among a lot of it's like this is like way in the future, like light speed, across the universe. So light speed was very fast and common for ships like this. They literally sacrificed their planets and societies. These 8 planets were chosen and were able. Their technology was able to speed across the universe, but not too fast, but under a year. So it took under a year. But before the fall, it took over the whole universe. But they had resources. But these two, the only 2 planets I gave you to were the fire planet and the water planet, which are the 2 records I came up right now before I create more into the story to explain leaking new information. The fall was didn't impact this new planet Titanus Gaia for the reason that it was technically indestructible, more like a god planet. It had an antivirus antidote to the fall, but since every single planet was destroyed by the time they landed, they couldn't heal the planets since they're already gone. The universe is gone. but some reason the habitable planet is still habitable. They are able to live on it. It's technically an indestructible planet that can't be destroyed by anything. God planet. Underlined. Double underlined. A God planet. So, if you're wondering why these 8 civilizations from different planets can live on here, is because the atmosphere is technically life. You can land on it in no matter what you breathed or anything, you were able to live on it. You can breathe, you can, anything you survive, any of these characters survived on their planet was here, but in the different parts of it. This planet, if you want to know the size of it, is probably 10,000 of our sun in our galaxy solar system. 10,000 to 10,000 times the size of that. It was a very huge god planet. That's why they call it a gigantic planet, unlike their own. Okay, so the fall, since it ended as soon as they landed and the universe was consumed, the fall had no other choice just to, like, orbit this gigantic planet. So if anyone wanted to get off and fly off into the planet, the fall just killed it, just annihilated it, just instant killed. Luckily, the story is gonna be based off of them not trying to escape the planet, but them trying to live here and see how it goes. Okay, so it's gonna come to that decision later in the story when I release the content. But back to this prologue, the 8 surviving planets did come to an understanding. They were in a dire situation, and time was very, very valuable right now. So they just landed on different parts of the planet to start their civilizations. There's 2 civilizations I did tell you, fire and water, at the moment. Since fire, is the planet inside and water is on top. But unlike this planet, the fire is meant for the Fire Nation. That's what they call themselves. They're not much of a. They are very hotheads. But they're on their planet. They were at peace before it destroyed. They ran under a king rule, a monarchy, a king and queen. But they weren't like much of a, warish. They didn't have anything to go war with. They were all, calm, but very, excited to do things. They were just, at peace. They had nothing to go against each other since they were all the same. And they all had the same magic, pyromancy. There was not much of a death toll among their planet. Not much diseases since it was covered with magma, lava, and they adapted to the point where, they're fire. I could later on I'll show you pictures of what natural people will look like when I get the chance. But for now, I can explain. But on the Fire Nation, once it did land, if you wanted to know how they travel, I think they were the only planet that was the farthest from Gaia, the planet they're trying to go to. The habitable planet, God planet. And it was a coincidence, somewhat, that the Titan, Eisenbrood, the volcano Titan, came out. I'm gonna tell you more about the Titans later on, but for now, let's get back to the Fire Nation. The Fire Nation, they are very relieved that they even made it, but when they landed, they did land to they traveled among the planet and found a good nation to live off of. And since the 8 planets didn't want to fight with each other yet, foreshadowing, they came to a conclusion that they won't fight each other for a good span of, like, I think 4 years to their time, which is like 20-ish years in human time. Okay. Since they had a good 20 years separated from each other, and this planet, it provided them the time, since that's the only thing they had now to think about how are they going to start a good, you know, nation? You rebuild from the natural resources. But since the Fire Nation only lived in lava and not inside lava or magma, they inside lava. They just like just they had cities. They had the society, had the technology they found to survive around their area. And luckily, this planet had their fruit, their food, a food source, to make them live for so long in these 20 years / 4 years in this nation. So when they found their nation, the Titan emerged. Aizen brewed the volcano Titan, and since it didn't technically have intentions, it did notice them. All their people rebuilding a kingdom or something like that. A good kingdom to live off of, a society in that part of the planet. They didn't I'm not talking about like just a huge society. They had it had more of the size capacity of the United States, North America. Okay, it's like that big, It just that chunk of land on this planet that had the size capacity over 10,000 times our sun. So it's pretty small, on this planet, but it was big to them. So getting back to the story, this they were starting to try to start off. They weren't trying to go to war with any of the nations, but luckily they had a home to start off of. The Titan, on the other hand, it stood outside their nation, like protecting them, sitting around, just still. It barely moved much unless it had to eat off of like a big giant or drink out of like a volcano or something like that. Just it was just there, but not like causing any trouble to the Fire Nation. But yeah, that's the Fire Nation in the beginning, at the moment, settling down. The record 2. Now we're gonna get into the Water Nation, which I hope you'll like. I'll like y'all's own opinions. If y'all want to add on to this, if y'all can, if y'all want to put something in there, give me ideas, which I have a ton, and if I'll try to see if I can, use them into the story. But record 2, the Deep Sea, the Water Nation. These people, they were like Atlantis. The story. It was an underground society, very very advanced, and they lived in peace. They didn't go to war much. They were like under a king and a monarchy, kind of like ish. They had King Poseidon, but in this story, they have something like him. His name is Tyrannus Atlan. Okay, Tyrannus Atlan. He is known to be the Sea King, and he's very like a monarchy. Okay, he loves his planet was at peace. The whole planet was consumed with water. Okay, everywhere was water. They had an atmosphere, gill to make them breathe underwater. They were like fishmen, but they weren't like fishmen. They didn't have like a body where they had just gills and everything. Like scales. No. They're like, what we depict as a fantasy fisherman. The body of a human. And they had gills on like this, where the ribs would usually be at. Okay, and they had emotion ish. They could swim a lot. Okay, they had controlled water, and the fish inside it, like sharks, they can use water, to like make it into objects, like to attack. They can more like they can use water and as anything. They can use water at any time. But the Atlan, he governs the people. He tries to make sure that there's no threats among them. Okay, but for every king, they have to have a prince or a princess. Before this story, there's a prince. his name is Megalo Atlan, and he is the Sea Prince. He's more like a hothead, a hothead prince. He likes to go into battle. He likes to fight a lot, and this is like main goal. He likes to. He's more like a show off ish, cool kind of guy. He's very into combat. Okay, um, he's very specialized in his water combatants, and he will take a challenge when he gets a fight chance. Um, the story characters, they're gonna be based off of mythology. They are like mythological creatures like the Kraken. He's gonna be a character. He's the feared sea monster that's gonna be in their settlements. Cetus, he's a commander, but Cetus, he's gonna be very useful later on. Cancer, aka the crab, the legend, uh, the gigantic crab. He's also a character as well. And let me point out Leviathan, Cthulhu, and Kaio Kappa. These, the nightmares of the sea. They're gonna be inside the story. They're side characters as well. So those are the side characters to start off with. We have also certain characters like the Titan Zakayan that I told you about. He is the the Titan, the Leviathan Titan. But since these people controlled water, and Atlan was very strong at this time being, he is a good king. He shows off a lot of his power. So he was able to become friends with the new Zakayan, Leviathan-ish Titan. This thing was more like the mythological character Jormungandr, but except for being a giant serpent, this thing's more like a dragon underwater-ish type of serpent-ish. He swims around and he tries to protect the people of the new deep unbroken Atlantis that was made. And luckily, some reason Tyrannus, there's the queen, a queen through the rule. Her name is Icarian, Etharian. Icarian is going to be mentioned after this. Etharian is the mother of Megalo, and you expect more like a humanish type of mother, but like this one is a megalodon, like a giant shark. Okay, I'm telling you, a giant shark. Yes, Tyrannus Atlan went with a shark. Okay, and made Megalo. Megalo is part shark. Okay, so Etharian, she is a very protective mother as well. She is more like take care of the Megalo, teaches him a lot of combat as well. That's why he gets his combat from his mother and Tyrannus Atlan as well, the king. They're very into like protection and combat wise. They know a lot. And they're Icarian, the monster of the sea, which was on their planet. He's gonna be mentioned a lot. He's gonna be more like an anti-hero ish, even though he's on the hero section of the main characters. He's gonna be more like a thing to go to for a character to go to that Megalo and Atlan are gonna go to for a supplies, a support thing, like for army general thing type of ish. He is known to be the monster of the sea for the reason that before their planet was destroyed by the fall, they had to find a new person to go for it, and they brought in one of their monsters that is the commander of the nightmares of the sea, aka repeating Cetus, Kraken, Cancer, Leviathan, Cthulhu, and Kaio Kappa. He is their leader, and he's their kind of captain to for in case something big goes down, they go to him. But yeah, that's for now. I think this should come to an end, but I hope you liked it. I would like y'all's opinions about what should I add among, but I'm gonna tell you the leaks on what I'm gonna add next. The next nations to be talked about in the next video are gonna be about the Earth and Thunder, lightning-ish, storm, and Earth type of kingdoms, and I'm gonna tell you how they started next time. I hope y'all subscribed or liked by now if y'all came this far. Thank you all for your time, and see ya in the next video. Bye bye.